Good evening, TV back here. My glasses got broke today. How you like it? Kind of funny, ain't it? One side of them, they're just $2 reading glasses. They're not by prescription, thank goodness. Excuse me. Anyway, this is part 3 of my knife handle making series of the 20th century survival knife. This knife could use some polishing. I just didn't. It's still got the carbon dark here. I can polish that out, but the thing is about polishing that out, when it gets wet or moisture, what'll happen, it'll just rust up worse. So I just leave it, just left the carbon look to it and sharpened the edge. Now my cousin's, I polished his all the way out. I may polish this one all the way out later on. But what I come on here to talk about is part 3. I'm still working on the handle. I've got to do some more sanding, and it's got to have some fill in here and this work down. But my other set of handles that I had that had the fancy little groove down it, as some of y'all may have seen, well, that was done by rainwater and stuff. Well, I messed around and was doing some wood splitting with my knife, just tapping it down and doing some cookwood splitting. And when I did, my dad blasted handles split down that seam, right down where the rivets are. I was able to reuse these dowel rod pins that I had in the old handle back in there, as you can see. I might have got a little close there, but anyway, I've been working on it and sanding it down. I've carved it down, worked this down on the handle. After I got it on here, this was the wood I split out of piece of oak out of the firewood. It's just oak wood that I got out of the cemetery. So this knife's already come from the death ground, so it won't matter. What I'm saying is the handle did. The steel that I have in it is nothing more than a mulching blade off of my riding Craftsman lawnmower that was wore out. And I cut 2 pieces out of this and made 2 6-inch handles, or 6-inch blades. It's 10.5 inches overall, but it's with the handle and everything. But it's the blade is usable blade is about 6 inches or better. And I made one for my cousin Tim here a while back. But I put cedar handles on his. Mine are oak, because I didn't have any oak then, so he got cedar handles. But this is the kind of knives I make for folks. They're survival knives. They do have a lifetime warranty on them. For instance, if it needs handles, if you break your handles, send it back to me. I'll make new handles. For as long as you own that knife, I'll make you another set of handles. Granted, they're not going to be bought in uptown knives. They're made out of used carbon steel. Now, in some cases, if you want me to buy new 01 steel, I will, but I'll have to give you a different price on that. Now, my knife prices are up on Word. I've listed them up on Word.com. It's under TB's Blacksmithing. You'll find it up there. Let me open that up and I'll give you the exact address while I'm on here. I got to get my broken glasses back on because I don't have my good ones out here. And this is what's left of these. See, one eye off. Yeah, I broke them. I bought about 10 pair of these, and the doggone lenses are good for reading glasses, but the plastic, all the frames are not very good. Okay, on Word, let's see here. Yeah, it's TB's Portable Blacksmithing and Welding is where you will find the prices of the knives. Just a second here, and it's at wordpress.com. And then when you get there, it's under TB's Portable Blacksmithing and Welding. Then let's see, I'll get into it here and see what I got. I'll give you the prices on these knives. Well, that's not it. Maybe it's right here. Okay, we'll open it up here and see if it's, yeah. Here we go. Now it's showing my page. I'm currently making custom knives for everyone who would like to have a good quality built knife that won't break your budget. My knives come with a lifetime warranty. Warranty covers the handles, tips. Should you break it, I will fix it or send you a new knife one time. If you should ever break that 1/4-inch steel, and I doubt you ever will, you'd have to really be prying with it to break that 1/4-inch steel, or even 1/8 of an inch steel. Okay, yeah, with that being said, now the handles, it's possible to break wooden handles. We all know that that could happen, and I will replace them forever as long as you own your knife. If you should break your tip off here, I'll either take the grinder and bevel it back out and straighten it and send it back to you, or if it's broke, too far back and it won't work out, make you a new knife one time. Because this kind of steel, you should never have no problems with it. And I'll sharpen it once a year, absolutely free, if you want to pay for the shipping to send it back. No problem, once a year. But it's just that I have so many customers, I wouldn't have time to sit around and sharpen knives. Which sharpen it once and then you just tone it. You just kind of keep it toned up. Is basically it. I use a file on mine. Now they do make a tool to sharpen them with. I can't think of what they call it, but a lot of folks use them. Dave Canterbury's got one up there on their channel at Wilderness Outfitters that they use. It's good for sharpening knives that he carries with him. But I have always used just a file or a grinder for the first time when I cut it. I'll cut my bead or my edge out with a grinder and sharpen it up razor sharp, and then I take the file and finish it out. Yeah, right now this little blade here, it will lay you open clear to the bone. It will cut through bone, brisket, rib. You can chop through almost anything. This is a very dangerous little knife. It'll cut right through anything. The military back in the day used some that were thick but more of a bolo type, a little bit more of a bowl here on the end than what this one is. But they're just like holding a hand axe in your hand, and they were made strictly for behind enemy lines for survival. I won't say what they trained them boys for, but it was these knives are good. Let's just put it that way. And they're the survivalists. They can be used for chopping, cutting, almost anything. For a all-around survival knife, these kind are not too bad. The bolo type had a little bit bigger, roundness here that some of the boys carried back in the day. And some of them carried bayonets and other types of knives too. They had many different types they carry. I can't think of the names of all of them. Some people are more up on knife names than what I am. All I know is if it's got a good edge, I'll use it. If it's usable, I use it. I've made many different kinds of knives, from Arkansas toothpicks to butcher knives, cutting knives, surgical knives. I can make almost anything with steel, lay out a pattern, same way with wood. If I got a pattern, I can draw it out and cut it out. It's not real difficult. I use grinders or with a rock blade, to grind it out. Grinder blades, basically, is what they are. And I use also a skill saw to cut big stuff. And I'll get into that. I made a new trough to make a forge to make my machetes in. I'm going to put that together for long, and I'll do a video on that another day. But right now on the knives, let's see, what have I got up there? I got to check myself, because sometimes I write things that don't make sense. I have done it. But for as the warranty sounds okay. Let's see, what have I got here? Yeah, customer pays flat rate shipping of $10, and I'll ship you your knife anywhere in America. I don't know what it costs outside the U.S. I'm not even sure that I could send them. Depending on the size, knife, or type, on what it will cost, on the materials, type materials you want, and equipment to make your knife, that's what it will cost you. 20th century survival knife like I just made, like this one here,